Hey, what's happening? I'm going to do a range modification on my Syma X5SW quadcopter, and I'm just going to do a very simple hack. I'm not going to use an antenna, a 2.4 gigahertz antenna or anything like that. I'm just going to give it maybe like 60, maybe like 50 to 60 more meters as far as range is concerned, and I'm going to do that with just adding another piece of wire to the existing wire on the circuit board. So what I've done is I have prepared the circuit board. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there that shows you how to do this, so I'm not going to go ahead and repeat the process. However, I am going to show you the soldering process by which I'm going to go through to put the pieces of wire together and to bond them. Right here I've just got some electrical rosin core solder right here. You can find it at Home Depot or Lowe's, wherever you can, maybe even like a hobby shop or something like that. But I'm just going to go ahead and use this. My soldering iron is hot. It is also cleaned off. I strongly encourage you to clean off any residue that might be left over from a previous soldering project. Right now I'm just going to get out just enough solder. You don't need a whole lot for this type of project, for getting ready to roll here. Alright, so what I've done is I've exposed with some wire strippers an equal amount, hopefully you can see that, an equal amount of wire exposed. I've exposed just enough on each side, both the receiving end and the end that is going to be connected. And I am now going to solder those two together. Alright, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead. As you can see, I've kind of frayed the end of this to make it bind a little bit easier. I've kind of frayed the receiving end a little bit so I can make it kind of twist and connect. Well, that didn't work very well. But what we can do here is hopefully very easily solder this together. It shouldn't be too difficult of a solder. It should be pretty brief and quick. And that's kind of the length it's going to be set at. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of our solder here, and the first thing you want to do is you want to kind of go ahead and heat the portion that you want to heat, but you don't want to heat it to the point where it's not ready to receive. I'm going to go ahead and solder, and just kind of let it. Alright, as you can see, there's a little bit of solder applied. Not my best soldering job, but still, I think it should do the trick. I meshed the wires together and then soldered it with what I feel was an appropriate amount of solder, and now that should be a quick little range hack for the Syma X5SW. We'll have to test it out when it's not raining. So there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this little tutorial video. Keep into consideration I just went over some of the basics. I just did actually test it out a little bit, and it certainly doesn't look any worse, but like I said, definitely gonna have to try it out when it's not raining outside. Definitely don't want to fly a quad when it's raining outside. Looks pretty good though. Pretty pumped about it, and can't wait to test it out tomorrow, hopefully when it's a little bit on the drier side, both vertical range and horizontal range as well. Quick shout out to Mark. You know who I'm talking to. You're gonna like this mod. You should try it on your own.